Hello. Today's stories come from r/ Today I Messed Up. We've got 3 stories from Today I Messed Up. Our first just had an update that I've added, so let's dive in. Today I messed up by leaving a massive order alone with my now ex and her 14 friends. I'm sorry. I just need somewhere to vent as literally everyone is saying I'm a jerk for kicking my pregnant ex out over this. To clarify, this is not the first time she's done this, but this time it cost me over $1,000. Also, I'm sorry if this was choppy, I'm seeing red right now. So recently, I got 2 massive orders for pastries for 2 weddings and a few other parties. I had spent 1 week working with my team on the orders as it was 75 to 100 per item. Well, we finished yesterday and I and the team decided to go to the movies and just relax. Big mistake. My now ex had a party planned without asking me in the home. I pay for her while she just sits on her butt doing nothing. She's never had a job, she just waits for everyone to hand her what she needs. We recently found out she's pregnant a month and a half ago, but she's been using it as an excuse. At first, it was just 1 or 2 of them, but it gradually became more 1 to 2 to 15 to 20, which wasn't an inconvenience as it was only one more batch, and I was fine with that. However, yesterday was the last straw. When I went out, she threw a party with 14 of her friends and they got hungry. So they decided to make their way down to the shop and went through nearly everything my team made. My dad owns the bakery. It's not too far down from our house, so it wasn't that hard for her to get in. Well, when we came back, we found my ex and 14 of her friends wasted on nearly $1,000 worth of pastries. I nearly lost my mind and started screaming at her, asking what in the world was she doing and why she thought this was okay. She blamed this on pregnancy cravings and tried to say that she wanted the baby to eat well. But when I asked about her friends, she said they also had cravings. I kicked her out and had to call and explain everything to both parties. Full refund for both of them as there was barely anything that could be salvaged. Update. She ended up calling me on her parents' phone around 7 to 8 a.m., screaming at me for posting our private lives for everyone to see. She then proceeded to ask me through crocodile tears if I would press charges on her and her friends for having fun. I replied yes, and as I was about to hang up, she brought up the child, as to which I told her to get a paternity test or not. It will not be my problem. She then starts trying to manipulate and gaslight me, crying, saying it was just her being hospitable to her friends and that it was rude of me to yell at them and kick them out. She then proceeds to cry about me not caring about her, and I just hung up and blocked her. As of right now, I'm fixing to leave for the police department, and I hope you do come, Maddie. With the evidence I have, you'll be arrested on the spot. Also, I've seen this in the comments a lot, so to clarify 1. Wasted on sweets, not alcohol, and 2. Yes, I did use a condom every time. However, a few of them broke. I assume nothing of it. She was on birth control. I feel like this was just planned, or she was sleeping around. Either way, I'm still going through with charges. There are too many comments to go through, but these were the questions I saw the most. Also, thank you for the support. It means a lot. Final update. As of right now, this will be the final update. When all the legal proceedings finish taking place, there will be another update. I'm tired as is, so I'm going to keep this short. This goes in order. She tried to break in and vandalize my home while I was making the report, and she got herself brought to the station. The truth came out, or at least part of it. She was never pregnant. The test she took at the police department proved this, which led her to possible charges of miscarriage, to which she had to openly admit that she was never pregnant and only trying to make sure I didn't leave. We had no problems before, so I don't even understand why she did this. Along with charges for the damage to my house, I will be pressing charges for the costs on her friends as well. As of right now, she's sitting in jail, waiting for the court day. Now I'm going to take a much needed nap. Good night. Oh my gosh, how crazy was that? At first, it seems like it's a bit much to kick out your pregnant girlfriend, but it quickly becomes evident there is so much more going on here. Drop a comment if you saw this coming, because apparently a number of people on Reddit are psychics and they called it. Let's check it out in the comments. Someone said, I'm pretty sure you can get DNA tests done before the baby is born. Just saying, good luck. Someone else added, it is important to do this before you sign the birth certificate. Even if you are not the father, you can often be on the hook for child support if you sign the birth certificate. Metal Chick added, hi, OP, can you hear me? Don't sign the birth certificate. Whiny Poopy Pants said, my stomach is turning thinking of eating that much pastry at once. OP, what kind of pastries were they? Rest in peace, desserts. Tight Laced added, Babies, pregnant mothers need to eat healthily. Binge eating pastries isn't healthy. That isn't going to give the baby the nutrition it needs to grow. Someone else added, dude, no one is buying her argument here. Someone else said, not only did she cost you $1,000, she possibly cost you future business because of having to cancel at the last minute. As a baker, I feel your pain. I can't believe the selfishness. Another baker commented, I'd be so screwed. My croissants take 3 days to make, start to finish. Ryoko Knight said, I just don't get the level of selfishness. It's one thing to pig out on food at home 2 or more people share. It's another to go to someone's place of business with friends, eat their work all without telling their partner. It's selfishness to the point of malice. I've literally had dogs and cats that were better behaved and knew to ask before taking random food. Our second story had me cracking up picturing it. Today, I messed up by unhinging my jaw while eating in front of a coworker. So, my body is kind of weird. I'm double jointed in many areas of my body. I'm double jointed in my fingers, toes, wrists, and you guessed it, jaw. This lets me unhinge my jaw with a slightly audible popping sound when I do. I also don't have much of a gag reflex and grew up in a household where whoever finished last has to do the dishes. So I'm also a fast eater, using my strange body to more or less just swallow food so I wouldn't have to do the dishes. This was normal for me until I started dating and learned that to some people, it's actually quite unsettling to see. However, even though I try not to eat like this in public, I will still eat like this when I'm at home, with people I know, or if I think I'm alone. So I'm at my work. I usually take lunches later than everyone else, and thus I'm usually by myself when I eat. Until one of my coworkers had taken a later lunch than even me. She's a gal I had gotten along with for a while. However, she had come in while I was in the process of starting to shove my 8-inch, fully packed extra meatball sub sandwich into my gaping maw. With an audible pop, my jaw unhinged, and she just stood there, not making a noise, watching as I just packed this sandwich into my mouth like some sort of demented serpent in human skin. I didn't notice her until I had already gotten the sub more than halfway in my mouth. We made eye contact and just stared at each other. I felt like a little kid caught with his hand stuck in the cookie jar until she just walked out of the break room. It's been over a week and she still won't look at me in the eyes and barely speaks to me. She really should have refrained from eye contact. I mean, she could have been turned into stone. I have to say, I'm not sure how I'd react to this. What would you do? Let's check out the comments. There's some pretty awesome humor. Flaming Butterfly said, while being able to deep throat an 8-inch meatball sub is impressive, your digestive system won't agree in the future. OP replied, that explains my IBS a bit. Someone else suggested, lean into it. Start hissing when you get excited. Someone replied, this is how people get excluded from society. Vandalay714 said, what kind of insane rule is it to have the person who finishes last do the dishes? Were your parents trying to raise a pack of wolves? There's nothing healthy, pleasant, or beneficial to eating fast. Practice taking normal bites and chewing each bite like 20 times. OP replied, no, mom cooked so she was exempt, so it was just me and my stepdad. It was his way of trying to get me to do them because he usually always ate faster than 4-year-old me. 20, really? Someone replied, I'm sorry. They had you doing the dishes at 4 years old? This thread just keeps getting wilder. Our third story brings us something truly wholesome. Today I messed up by telling my kids, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I have 4 boys. It is important for me that they understand that they are responsible for their actions. I always tell them their actions have consequences, good or bad, and they need to remember that, especially when they make bad choices. A few months ago, I put my 6-year-old in timeout for doing something he knew he shouldn't have done. He has ADHD, so he's very impulsive and always getting himself into something. He was crying about being in timeout, so I told him that when we knowingly and purposely make bad choices, we don't lie about it or try to hide it. We accept responsibility, accept our consequences, then move on with our life and make better choices. Then I said it. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. A few days later, he didn't want to do his homework. I told him if he didn't, he would be grounded. He said, for how long? I told him for the rest of the week, no TV or Nintendo. He said, okay, that's fine, and he didn't do his homework. Now he questions everything and does the time for his crimes. Eat your vegetables, please. What happens if I don't? No dessert. Okay. Clean your room. What happens if I don't? No TV or Nintendo until your room is clean. Okay, don't eat that candy. What happens if I do? You won't participate in family movie night. Okay, fine, I won't eat it. I've caught him a few times telling himself, nah, maybe I shouldn't do that. So there's some progress. Leave it to a kid to take that saying so literally, as in, measure the consequence relative to the bad choice and then decide if you still want to make a bad choice. It's like a kid's version of a cost benefit analysis. The comments had some more funny kid things. Let's check them out. I'll try not to flame said, your kid is very smart. Maybe you need to put even more effort into your plans. Wise Groups added, keep him on a parole. Tell him violating parole is a separate crime with extra time. Someone else said, when the punishment for a crime is a fee, it's legal for the rich. He is rich in time and doesn't mind spending some. Smart little bugger. Someone else added, this is like when a daycare started adding a small fine for a late pickup, and suddenly more parents were picking up their kids late and paying a fine. They had to revamp the system. Someone else shared, my daughters did this. One waited till the last day in school to beat on a bully. Turns out she didn't get in trouble there, and after hearing the story, bully effed around and found out. She didn't get in trouble at home either. She also ate her sister's candy and took the punishment with no tears. Her face said, worth it. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.